Mailbag time on today's edition of Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman, and I appreciate all of you guys for tuning in to today's show. So this is my favorite segment I do every week, me and you chopping it up about your Minnesota Vikings. And the first question coming in from Can You Dig It, saying, did you hear Joe Burrow say crazy things can happen? Yes, I did. And this sparked a whole lot of Vikings rumors floating out there on the internet. So if you guys did not see this, Joe Burrow was asked after the Ravens game about some of the comments he made the previous week, his play that past Sunday where they got shut out for the first time in his career. And Burrow, he kind of shut down the rumors at first about saying, like, hey, I'm going to play until, like, I'm 40 years old. So, like, the whole early retirement rumors kind of got shut down. But then somebody asked him pretty much in the sense of, like, hey, Joe, like, can you see yourself playing anywhere else but Cincinnati? And Burrow responded, crazy things can happen. And you know what that reminded me of? Actually, can you dig it? It reminded me of Stephon Diggs. When 2 weeks before the Vikings traded him, somebody asked Stephon in the locker room, what do you make of all these rumors of you being traded this offseason? And Stephon, in the most Stephon way possible, looked him dead in the eyes and says, there's truth to all the rumors. I'm not saying that it's apples to apples with what Joe Burrow said, but I'm sure Burrow's been thinking about it a little bit. Like, man, I'm just wasting my time here in Cincinnati. Imagine if I was in Minnesota with O'Connell, Jefferson, all these guys. So I'm not trying to put too much into this just yet. Because obviously Burrow is going to be like politically correct at his press conferences. He's not going to try to stir up too much. But Joe Burrow, get your ass to Minnesota. That's all I'll say there. Lego fellow saying, in a world where we land Burrow, can we find a way to keep Flores so we can avoid regression on defense while going all in? Yeah, that's a fantastic question. Like, the Vikings did go out there and get Joe Burrow. Man, you would have to keep Brian Flores because I just think the combination, I don't care who's around him. If you have Joe Burrow, Kevin O'Connell calling the shots offensively, and you got Brian Flores calling the shots defensively, that's a Super Bowl team. Just flat out. That is a Super Bowl team. Now, will they win it? Who the hell knows? You absolutely got to go out there and play the games. But on paper, that should be good enough to win a Super Bowl. So, yeah. Can we keep Flores? Will we find a way to keep Flores? I hope so, because also just personally, I love watching his defense play. It is the most fun just film watch, too, I think, in the NFL. Like, I love watching the Vikings offense. But I get more excited that night when I off of work and, that Monday night, and I'm just watching the Flores defense, what they did the night previous. Like, it's just unbelievable to watch, man. He's so creative. He's got a great energy and aura about him, so hopefully they're able to. Guitarist coming in saying, hey, Patrick, I've been a fan for a while. I appreciate you. What are the odds of the Vikings starting hot next year and kind of riding it through a 11-win season? I think it's high because the Vikings this year, they obviously had a pretty brutal schedule. You were playing, like, your one AFC team that you were playing was the Chargers this year on a short week. That was kind of the Vikings getting boned. But this next year, like, I'll read you guys off their opponents at home. So, obviously, you got the Bears, Lions, Packers. But your other home opponents, the Falcons, the Carolina Panthers, the Buffalo Bills, the Miami Dolphins, then the NFC East team, which will either be the Commanders or the Giants at home, then an AFC South team, which will probably be the Tennessee Titans. So that's great stuff there. And then also your away opponents, Bears, Lions, Packers, but then you got the Patriots, tough game. They got the Saints and the Jets. And then you got the Buccaneers and the NFC West team, which would be the Raiders. Since the Vikings are probably going to come in fourth in the division. So the Vikings schedule, I mean, you got some of the bottom feeders in the NFL. So, yeah, if they get an easy schedule early on, like, they could ride that out like we're seeing like a team like the Bears have done so far this season. Cohen Banks saying, is there any players who would be free agents next year that you think we should target? I'm not going to lie to you. I haven't looked too much at the NFL free agency list for the Vikings, just mainly because they have no money. They're still $40 million over the cap, but there are workarounds for it. But in terms of guys they could bring in, I mean, maybe a safety would be nice. I don't really think you're going to make any additions offensively. Looking at the list here, I mean, there's not a whole lot of good options. I got like Kyle Duggar out there. I don't know if he would be that good of a choice. I mean, you could bring old man Jimmy Ward in, like Kevin Byard. I mean, he would be 33. Donovan Wilson, Geno Stone's not a bad choice. Maybe a safety or, I mean, let me just go through some corners here real quick. Oh, Jamel Dean would be like the prize for next year's free agency, but he's going to probably get $15 million a year. Eric Stokes, no interest there. Kader Kohu, maybe. Greg Newsome, maybe. I don't know. Not a whole lot of good options out there, but we'll see. We'll see. Charlie saying, does Redmond get a new contract this offseason? He should. I think that would be smart of the Vikings. Be a little proactive there. Because I do think if you let him test free agency, like the Vikings can get outbid for him. Because like other teams know how good this guy is. Like every coaching staff, every GM in the league watch tapes on every single team. They probably see 61 pop off the field, film every week. So hopefully they get him locked up this season. Hopefully also Redmond. I'm not saying he takes like a hometown discount for the Vikings, but maybe gives a little discount to the team that took a chance on him out of the UFL. So does he? I'm going to probably say no, but should he? Absolutely. You guys let me know your thoughts on this. Who will be QB1 for the Vikings next season? A little prediction time. Not who you want to be QB1. Who do you think will be QB1? I still think it will be J.J. McCarthy. But again, J.J. is still playing for his job the rest of the season. So we'll see. But I'll probably go J.J. on this one. You guys let me know your thoughts down below. All right, we'll get to more questions here in a second. But let me tell you guys about today's sponsor, Factor Meals. Now, eat smart at factormeals.com/VikingsChat50 off. Use that promo code VikingsChat50 off to get 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. That's code VikingsChat50 off at factormeals.com. Now, eating well during the holidays can feel impossible. That's why I use Factor's chef-prepared, dietitian-approved meals to help me stay balanced and energized through the most indulgent time of the year. I love Factor because they have a wider selection of weekly meal options, including premium seafood choices like salmon and shrimp, and no extra cost. Covering the Minnesota Vikings. Got some late nights here at Chat Sports. Don't always feel like making a home-cooked meal when I get off of work, but that's where Factor has came in and completely changed my life. So if you guys could, eat smart at factormeals.com/VikingsChat50 off and use promo code VikingsChat50 off to get 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. That's code VikingsChat50 off at factormeals.com for 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. This exclusive holiday offer won't last, so lock in your savings before the New Year rush. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. Damn, Mad, what's going on, Brody? If Addison moves on, will Felton be wide receiver 2 next year? I'd probably say it's Naylor. Like, if the Vikings do trade Addison this offseason, I think Naylor would get the early nod. But that would obviously move Tai Felton into being the wide receiver 3. So, yeah, I'd probably say Jalen Naylor. I don't think the Vikings would do anything with Addison. I think, like, listen, they still got Addison on 2 years of team control. So, like, and he's on a very cheap contract. He's on his rookie deal, making $5 million a year. Like, that's an absolute steal. Like, when you think about roster building in the NFL, like, you got to find your steals in certain spots. Like, Addison at $5 million a year, that's a steal. So you can go overpay for somebody else. So I don't think they'll move on from him unless the team gets blown away by the offer, or unless they get blown away by an offer from another team. But, yeah, that's about it. Chromed, what would you do for the Vikings to win a Super Bowl? My mind just went in like 20 different spots. I just had a lot of dark thoughts in my head. I don't know if I want to share those. I don't know. Like, would I give up a finger or a toe? Probably not. Definitely not a finger. Maybe a pinky toe. I don't know. Do you need a pinky toe? What else would I do? I don't know if I would do anything because I want the Vikings to win the Super Bowl, like, authentically. Because, like, if I, like, let's just say, like, some voodoo gypsy lady came up to me and was like, hey, I got a deal for you. If we cut off your pinky toe, I guarantee you the Vikings will win the Super Bowl next season. And, like, I got proof. Like, I knew it was 100% certain. I don't know if I would want to do that because that would kind of take away the fun of that. Now, if it was, like, let's just say the Vikings made the Super Bowl this year, and it's, like, right before the Super Bowl, somebody came up to me and was like, hey, we got to chop off your foot for the Vikings to win this game. maybe I would consider it. But I would want to do it the old-fashioned way, Chrome. Great question. Big O, would you be mad if we get Joe and trade JJ and he looks like a franchise quarterback? I mean, it depends on what Burrow does. Like, if JJ goes somewhere else and he's super successful, but the Vikings are going to NFC title games, winning Super Bowls, like, I could care less. That would be best case scenario for me, because it's not like I would want the Vikings to trade JJ away and him not to work out. Like, I was the biggest JJ McCarthy guy coming out of Michigan, so I'd hope that he would work out no matter where he goes. But would I be mad? The only way I would be mad if it's like they trade for Joe Burrow, he can't stay healthy, maybe he regresses, and then JJ in a couple years, it's like, oh, he looks like a franchise quarterback. And, like, think about, like, in 2 years from now, when JJ McCarthy's 24 years old, with all the reps he's had, and he's really finding his own, it's still 10 years until he's 34. It's like, I could see JJ being one of those guys that wants to play till he's 40. So, like, that's why, he's 22. Give him his time, let him develop. But would I be mad? Probably not. Dude Sports, if we have another horrible season next year, do you think Jettas will have had enough and ask for a trade? Unfortunately, I know you guys aren't going to like this answer, but I do. I really believe that. I think Justin Jefferson would probably for right reason demand a trade. Like, this guy, Jefferson's 26 right now? I don't think he's 27 yet, he's 26 years old. God, these guys are getting old. Yeah, I think he would have to request a trade there. But yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, but that's just kind of reality. The Vikings have another season like this year. Bad quarterback play. Jefferson's not getting his numbers. They're not in the playoffs. He, for no good reason, should request a trade. But if you guys made it to the end of today's mailbag, we appreciate you. Just hit me with a skull down below in the comments section. And shout out to all the real ones for tuning in today. We'll get on out of here. Let's go Vikes.